Welcome to Croi's Kitchen. So thank you all for this. And so you should have your steaks out now. All of the stuff on the list should be ready, done. Your potatoes in the oven. Your pan on. Nothing in the pan, dry. To oil your steaks, oil them on whatever, a plate, a tray, it doesn't matter. Don't oil the pan. We're going to do the steaks there in a second. So you all have a little thing of the whiskey in your thing as well, for a little sample of this one, Portmagee, which we've done the steak in. And we actually have the lads from Portmagee online here now as well. If one of you want to jump in, just say hi, lads from Portmagee.
Yeah, hi everybody. This is John Murphy from Portmagee Whiskey here. My brother James is with Noel there filming at the moment, and on screen with us here as well is Stuart McNamara, who makes up the trio of Portmagee Whiskey. Firstly, thanks very much for taking a chance at this, and looking forward to seeing what Noel cooks up with this Portmagee Whiskey aged steak. Our company is a small one. It's only a startup where myself and my brother James are from Portmagee, obviously in the name. And we're at the very early stages where hopefully this time next year we will have a visitor experience centre, and we'll have the starting phases of our micro distillery up and running in Portmagee. But for now we have a brand out there. Thanks for the support, but I won't hold you up anymore. I'm just looking forward to seeing what Noel does with these aged steaks, and I hope you all enjoy it. And Shlanta and Gormagot.
This is great. We can just go around the world bringing in people. So for all of you that are on, get your pan on now onto a high heat to start with, and just leave the pan heat up. As I said, nothing in the pan. Now with these aged steaks, I'm just going to put them in the oil. When it comes to seasoning them, lightly. You don't need a lot of salt. I would use less than half of what I normally would here on a steak. The thing about steaks, when you get them in a restaurant versus at home, is the amount of salt and pepper we use to you is very different. What you think is too much, we add way more. But on these, we don't. We're going to come back because it's been dried. We've lost moisture, and the natural salt content in that steak has risen. So when you're seasoning something, come up away from it like that, over and back, so that you get an even spread. If you're down here, it'll go in clumps. Pepper, on the other hand, we're going to go heavy, yeah? Again, up here, spread it, and then we're just going to flip the steaks over in the oil, and we're going to do the same thing again. So up high, yeah, you're going to get some around the place, but we never pay attention to that. It easily wipes off. Season from a height. It spreads. As it comes down, it spreads out, and you get a better all round. So as I said, we don't put oil in the pan, we're oiling the steak. Now normally here we do things on a charcoal, but for this, because you're going to be doing them on pans, I'm doing it in a pan as well. So just check the heat of your pan. Your hand a couple of inches above it should feel very warm. So my pepper sauce is on in the background. I've just shut off the oven from a noise point of view, everything else is there. And we're getting a good heat here already. Now for those that like it well done, you're going to take it further, leave it longer, obviously. And the thing with these is we're going to try to get a crust on them. Don't move your steaks around the pan. Once they go in, let them. Now your pan is hottest where your flame is hitting the pan. So generally a circle here, just on the side. That's where you're going to go for. So make sure they're well oiled. Get them good and turned in your thing. And then just to check that your pan is hot enough, you're not going to let go of the steak. You're just going to go and you're going to get your sizzle. If you don't hear a good sizzle, don't drop your steak in just yet. Is everybody doing okay so far? Yeah?
Check the heat now.
Yeah, take your time now. We'll go nice and slow. And just let me know that you're happy with each step. And
yeah, we got a sizzle.
You got your sizzle?
We got a sizzle.
You got a sizzle. Don't worry about it being on, and if somebody else is just slowing us down a small bit, the pan won't get worse because it gets hotter, it'll get better. Woo, I'll be back. Because Miss Rachel, our mixologist, has dropped me in our new bespoke Portmagee cocktail. You know. Oh yeah. So, now once you have your sizzle, your steak in. Now keep your heat on a high because the temperature of the steak will drop the pan temperature down. So what you're trying to do is keep it up. So keep your heat on a high for now, okay? You should be hearing a good sizzle. Don't worry about the smoke. That's just from it all, the good heat. So just going to leave them. Most people think once you get the steak in is to start at the steak. Don't. Leave it alone. It's the hardest thing to do. Everybody wants to turn the steak and move it around. Leave it alone, because what we want to do is get that crust. And that seals in the moisture, which seals in the flavour and makes for a better tasting steak. So high heat, hard and fast to create that, yeah? See that there now? Yours might take a little longer than mine because of the cooker differences. I'm just lifting it to show you. You don't want to be moving these. You want to keep them still. Now, if you want it rare, you're getting ready to turn now, okay? Any second now at rare, you're turning. If you want medium rare, medium well, you're leaving it for a minute longer. And just keep that heat up. So, now if you want rare, there you go. Turn it over. You should see a good crust on it already. Nice seasoning. Everybody doing okay?
Yeah, good.
You can unmute yourself if you want to say something. We have you unmuted at this side. So for the rare, you're giving it just slightly longer on the second side because the temperature of the pan dropped when you put it in. So, but you can see that it's already gaining a nice crust. Now if you want medium rare, turn them now. And if you want medium, you can get ready to start turning. If you're medium well, you're going to turn more often, so turn them now as well. So medium well, turn them now. So as medium wells, we're going to turn it once or twice more to stop any chance of the outside burning. So we're gone past blue and heading into the rare territory now. So anybody who likes theirs rare is not far off. The temperature check, we do all of them in the kitchen, we touch, because you learn over time. So if you want rare, you're pretty much there now. If you want medium rare, it's going to be in there a bit longer, as I said, and we'll keep going. For me, it'll be rare, and that'll be that one done. So we just stand it up on its end, just to seal the outside. And just flip it over there onto the fat on this will be a lot harder than a normal steak because of the aging process. Still very edible and very tasty. Very powerful flavour. Compared to the rest of the steak, you taste the age more in the fat than the meat itself. So if you like rare, take it out. Medium rare, you're going to be taking it out in a minute or two. And as I said, if you're medium or medium well, you're turning again now. So you should be coming up now on, if you're medium rare, you're looking to get it out shortly. And as I said, if you're medium or medium well, you're going to turn it every other minute. And that's just so that it doesn't actually burn. But there we go at medium rare now. So there's your medium rare. Straight on the plate. Good crust on it, look at that. And if you're medium, turn it again now, and medium well do the same. And you're just going to take another minute or two. Everybody doing okay? Yep, you can record away if you're not on. Absolutely, belt on. If anybody needs this afterwards, we can send it on because we've got several cameras going here. So we can send you on a copy of it. I left my pan smoking away while I was talking. If you're medium, you're pretty much done medium well. Turn it again for the last time. So now, same pan, take it off the heat now, drop your butter in and your asparagus to warm it up. You can take your time. All you're doing with the asparagus is just warming it up in the butter. Watch for the splatter now from the pan. The pan is hot, so move it off the heat before you add the butter because it will splatter a little bit. And because I've already blanched the asparagus for you, so you're just literally warming it up. Everybody doing good? So one of the things that you can drop your asparagus in then, and this is not going to take long at all. Portmagee, they are doing this. This is fab. It's a little gift set with the Portmagee glass and everything. It's beautiful. It's the 9-year-old. Get the small version of the little bottle to try it. I'll be buying the big bottle, but because it's lovely. So your asparagus now, you're literally just warming it up, and then you're taking it out of the pan and you're putting it into on top of your steak. So I'll just throw mine in to give you an idea. So, because you've got all that flavour from the meat in there that you want to use as well and add to it. So that's why we're using the one pan. I'm just going to season that very quickly. You don't need much salt because of the butter content. Butter has loads of salt, so you don't want to be adding too much salt, just a little bit. Pepper. Your butter should go almost brown and frothy. So take it off the heat. So if you followed the instructions I gave you, you had the gratin in the oven already, so that should be ready. And that is pretty much most of your dinner done. So I hope you enjoyed it so far. If any questions, fire them on absolutely straight away. And whiskey tastes lovely. Yes, the whiskey tastes fabulous. I'm glad you're enjoying the whiskey. It's in there. So by all means, those that drink, have some. We're in lockdown. Jesus, go mad. So I'm having it in a cocktail, Travis. But then again, I have a mixologist sitting outside in the restaurant, so you know, perks.
Noel, can I ask you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Stuart here.
Yeah.
I'm the whiskey blender with Portmagee. So normally when you're cooking something with whiskey, because alcohol evaporates at about 80%, if you're using whiskey in a Christmas cake, you get the residual flavour but no alcohol. But
Yeah.
what I find interesting about this is that the steak on the outside obviously is up to a certain heat. But I'm guessing that a lot of the whiskey is going to be left in the steak. It's not going to have...
You see, it's been in it for so long, and we literally gave it a bath. If anybody saw the original video, we soaked it in it. So the whiskey's all the way through it. So yes, on the outside, it's completely burnt off because the heat we're running at in a hot pan. And you're just leaving the flavour. But inside, you should get that whiskey notes. Now, every steak I've done quite a few with different things. The flavours, it's always there, whatever you're using. And the last one we did it with a gin, and you got that juniper and stuff from the gin. And some of the whiskey ones we've done have been fabulous. So you do get the taste of whiskey, of the particular whiskey, or you get the notes of that whiskey. So what we'll get here is the notes of the Portmagee whiskey right through the meat. And yeah, the alcohol comes off of it, of course, because you're cooking at a high heat, but you would have some in the meat.
Yeah, they've been trapped in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody good? Any other questions? That whiskey is so good. The whiskey's fabulous. I'm not sure I'd put it in a cake, but that's a personal thing. But I'm a whiskey fan, so I prefer to drink whiskey. But by all means, put it in your cake. The whiskey is gorgeous. As I said, I came across this about a year ago, and it became one of my favourite whiskies instantly. So I couldn't talk highly enough about it. You know, you'd rarely see me banging on about one particular product, other than saying, you know, buy local. But for me, this time, I'm down the river on this one. All good? Janet, all good anyway. Janet, it's a pleasure. Thank you very much. So,
Thanks, guys.
thank you very much. I hope you're going to enjoy it. And just to let everybody know, I'm going to do this again next week. On the Sunday, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it with lobster. So it's going to be 2 lobsters in a pack, so that you'll get the first one. And if anybody wants it, I'll be doing it next week. And I'll do the same thing again. So I'll take it to a certain point. You won't have to kill lobsters. I'll take it to a certain point. You'll take it, and I'll do a Zoom meeting to finish the lobster. Be a little more cooking involved in that, but this is my first time doing this, so you know, I hope you enjoyed it, because I've never done a live cooking long before. You know, it's easy. I did videos before where pre-recorded and you could stop and change things. So I hope you enjoyed it and that I spoke enough. You have to catch your own lobster. No, I'm going to get the lobster for you. That's okay. No, I've got the lobster sorted. But maybe we might do that in the new year where we do a thing and go out and get some. That might be an idea too, after this is all over. But no, we'll have the lobsters. So is everybody done cooking? And enjoying? So, you all book this through Messenger or whatever. I'd love some feedback afterwards, good or bad, because I learned from it either way. On particularly on what's going on here. A message coming in now just to make sure somebody's not asking me something. I'd love some feedback, good or bad, how I make this better. As I said, it's my first time doing it. So I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you enjoy the aged steak because I've done them always here. So doing it at home to me is a very different thing. And smells unreal, yeah. There's an amazing smell off the steak. It's coming from the aging process and the whiskey added to it. It's what's giving it that particular unique flavour and smell. So Ruth, I'm glad it smells unreal. I hope you think the same.
Yeah.
So it smells amazing. I'm about to tuck in here, so I shall let you know how they go down. You know me, one way or another, you will find out how these go down.
Good man, Malachi. Thank you for coming in. Okay, folks, we're going to sign off. I'd love some feedback later. Thank you very, very much for partaking in this. And it's been an experience. So, thank you. And enjoy.